Big, I would say, uproar in Pakistan when one of the papers published a story and quoting ICIJ, they said mistakenly the Prime Minister's name appeared mistakenly in the news on Panama and that it is removed from our web data. Is that correct?
No, it's completely untrue.
What was ICIJ's position on this press release that you issued? Why did you issue it?
We didn't issue a press release at all. We're quite confused by the stories that are running in Pakistan now. We found the Prime Minister's name in the data. It was related to his children. The companies are still on display on our website. Anyone can go in and look at the various companies that were used to buy property in London, very expensive property. We don't want to get involved in politics. All we are journalists, and we're just putting the facts out there. There was no apology, there was no press release. We are actually quite confused by what's going on over there.
So what is ICIJ's official position on this? The reason I'm saying that is because the front page of one of the leading newspapers ran ICIJ's, apology of sorts, removal of the Prime Minister's name from the list. What is your official position? Have you done anything or you haven't done anything at all?
We haven't removed his name from the list at all. You can still see the display involving the Prime Minister and his children in our display. You can also read his name in the news stories. We made it more clear in an updated version of the story that it was the children rather than him directly. But I think people can read between the lines there in terms of, not very many people can afford property in London, so you can ask questions away in Pakistan. It's really not our job to get involved in the politics of it all. It's simply our job to report what wasn't known. And if you didn't know this, then I think it's of huge public interest.
One more question. The Prime Minister's son actually came on one of the private television channels in Pakistan to declare his offshore companies, to declare, publicly that yes, I own the companies and these apartments and these things are owned by me, myself and, my sister and brother. Or my sister, she's the trustee, that's what he said. Did you write a letter to the Prime Minister asking for their response before this was published?
Yes, of course. We went to everyone we named well in advance of publication. So they were aware beforehand that we were going to publish a story several weeks out from publication. So I would probably question when the statement was made. If it was made in the weeks leading up to publication, then it's likely that this was damage control. We've seen the same with other countries. For instance, when we approached the Prime Minister of Iceland, who subsequently resigned, he had 3 weeks to react before it became public what we were going to bring out. So we basically, it's our policy to approach everybody and give them a chance to explain, to comment if they want to.
So if the Prime Minister's son came out 3 or 4 weeks before this story was published, that means this is damage control. They already knew this was coming out, and so might as well go out in public and admit it.
Well, again, I would ask that question. Obviously, I don't know the ins and outs of everything, but we have been working on the story for more than a year. We gave access to all of the information to more than 370 journalists around the world, including a journalist in Pakistan. It was presumable, everyone went to everyone else for comment. We basically wrote a letter, we emailed, we did all we could to get comment from everyone we named.
So now there's a government, not really a spokesperson, but somebody who works for the ruling party, who's a member of the parliament for the ruling party, has pointed out loopholes in your investigative stories. And he's asking for an apology or else you have to face legal action. Mr. Daniel Aziz has said this publicly in press conferences. What is your take on this?
Well, obviously anyone can challenge any story if they want to, and they're perfectly within their rights if they want to take legal action. I can tell you that no legal action has been taken, and I think if any action is taken, it would need to be taken in the United States, and I think you'll find that United States law would require that person to take legal action to actually turn over all of their accounts. So I think it's a potential minefield for anyone trying to do it. But of course, if they want to do it, they can. All I can say is that we have not had any legal action taken against us.
Very interesting. You say if a case is filed in the US, then whoever is filing the case first has to take all their paperwork to the US. Meaning all
if they're making an allegation, they're making an allegation, they've got to prove that somehow we were in the wrong, but also that we were showing malice in doing what we were doing.
And any apology?
That we weren't. I mean, we did not discriminate. We simply went on what was in the data, and of course, we saw politicians and public officials as people of huge public interest. And we thought it was even of more public interest if the public that elected them did not know this material and did not know these facts. Now, it's not up to us, and I really stress this, we are not getting involved in politics. We don't want to. We don't take sides. We simply report, as journalists should, facts that are of public interest.
Any apologies coming from ICIJ if the government asks for one?
No. Not that I mean, we haven't been asked for one.
So you haven't been asked for one, but even if you were asked, nothing. There's a lot of talk about, well, CIJ